Hey everybody, welcome back to Day 2 of UK Games Expo. We're going to put this up a little bit after Day 2 here on our Dragonborn Industries YouTube channel, but me and Jack are going to be taken through a small demo of Core Space by Colin.
Hello.
Hi Colin, how you doing?
I'm alright, are you good?
I'm very good. How's the Expo going for you today?
Awesome. We've been at the Expo for so many years, since it was even in like the hotel, so this is old ground for us.
Yeah, so you know what you're doing.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it seems to me, I mean, the stand's looking amazing. You are constantly busy, and like we've been chatting to Tom all kind of like yesterday and today, so now you've got to live up to his being on camera. Otherwise, I'll throw over to you if you want to take us through Core Space.
Okay, so Core Space is a very kind of much a Firefly-esque kind of ragged bunch of traders that you're going to be taking into multiple different 3D environments, and there's a couple of things. Core Space is a game that's been around for a long time, probably about 6 or 7 years, and we've got thousands and thousands of players already. So for anyone who's actually played Core Space before, the original version, this is second edition, Evolution, they'll find it really interesting, the changes that we made. And if you've not played Core Space before, then obviously it's all going to be new. So yeah. So what'll happen is, like with many games, you've got like a turn-based system whereby you're going to activate your crew. Okay. Okay, and you're going to send them into the 3D environment, and then you're going to activate the adversaries. In this case, a evolving robotic. From the first game, we had the Purge. Yes. And from that, we've had the Rogue Purge that have evolved. And if you've got the first game, this is going to continue the story. Because
it is a continuing story.
It is a continuing story. It's also a second edition, which means that if you own the existing game and you back us on Gamefound, for example, we're going to supply all of the character boards for all of the miniatures and everything from the original game. Not print and play, physical copies. That's amazing. So that you can continue the story with the crew that you've painted and everything else. So that's very cool. So you're going to do that. You're going to do your crew phase, you're going to do your adversary phase, and then you're going to have an assessment phase should anything happen. Who knows? Sure. Okay. Everything's going to be controlled by your dashboards. Okay. And we've got some quite... it's kind of the heart and soul of your character. So the dashboard is kind of a blank, and you'll have your character. There's both a crew and a civilian side. Yeah. So if any characters you don't use your crew, populate the board of civilians and have actions as well. And then you'll pick your class so that you can decide what kind of skills, etc., that you can kind of work your way towards. We use action dice, so you're going to roll your action dice, and this is going to allow you to move and fight, etc. And what it means, nobody's a hero in Core Space, and sometimes you just don't have the energy and the effort to be able to do certain things. And so your action dice will represent the fact that sometimes you're a bit like, oh, what do I do? Or you freeze, etc. Yeah, but generally, you're going to end up with about 2.5 actions on average to work your way through. As you take damage, these dice get downgraded, and as the dice downgrade, it affects how efficient you are at making your task. That's very Until they're all red, and then you start taking them away, and then eventually you've got nothing left. We also have an effort system that allows you to kind of push your action dice, push the effort that you're doing, and you'll notice there's lots of space for equipment that you're holding. Yeah. You can upgrade by putting backpacks in so you can carry more items, and we've got a complete campaign system that's built into this, and it's countersunk, and after the mission you'll like add in like a little dry wipe dot to say that you've done your thing, and it'll matter where you place the dot and how your character progresses. So is that like the XP and advancement then of the characters as you move through the stories that you play? Absolutely. As you go through the stories, whether it's individual stories you're creating yourselves or one-off games, you can still actually work your character up, or you can do it through the complex campaign that we've actually got that'll run through that. And so this character board you'll have one for each character, and that'll command what you're doing with your here. Excellent, sure. Then you've got a 3D environment, and what we've done is we've made sure that anything that you interact with, so as you search and you find new equipment in the cargo crates, that so much. It fits into your dashboard, and you can only carry what you can carry. On the back you've got costs for, you can do things like craft with things, but you've also got costs to buy and to sell. Oh, I love that. So you've got everything you can interact with, even the doors, so you can open the doors.
So this was a big thing for us, like with our channel, when we got in touch with Thomas, like, so we were playing Starfinder, so obviously a completely different system, and we were like, but the terrain is perfect, what can we do together? And yeah, when we started using this stuff for our Starfinder campaign, it's things like the interactive doors, the 3D immersion, the 1-inch grid on the map.
There's a lot of cross-compatibility. We've got a lot of people playing this particular game and many others.
Well, I want to play this game, like it's something I want to do on the channel, is play Evolution, because like, one, I love how this looks, and there's something like, I mean, I'm a sci-fi nerd anyway, and I think like, so for me this is like a potential future for us, but the terrain is always incredible, and like, I love that within your community as well, people are going around with the paint marks and doing all the edges and making them all blend in as well.
Absolutely.
Which just, I mean, if you can see it here, how well that works against the battle maps as well. It just adds that extra level of immersion.
It does indeed, absolutely, yeah. And that's, as far as your crew's concerned, that's it. You'll wander in, you'll do your thing. It's a very unique, if you like, physics system that balances everything. The adversaries, you'll then draw a card. The adversaries will, for those who played original core space, we've removed well over 40% of like the dice rolls for management. So when you're making a dice roll, it's because something spectacular is happening.
Nice.
And we've got a larger size, kind of tarot size event card, and when you pull that, it kind of says everything that the adversaries are going to be doing. They've got their own AI, they go on and do their thing, as it were. But they're not just this relentless force against you, they've got their own objective as well. And if you kind of stay away from them a little bit, especially if you're a bit damaged up and you're a bit ragtag and you've taken a few dodgy rolls, you'll be able to kind of stay away from them. They'll ignore you and they'll get on with their objective and start collecting data. But if they collect too much, what happens is they will start to upgrade as well.
Oh, really?
So they'll follow your progression. It really depends upon how much you want to interact with them. But if you're having a tough time, you can kind of pull back a bit. But if you constantly do this, they're going to get to a point where they're going to be way too tough for you. So it's this nice balance between, being able to decide what you're going to do.
Very dynamic.
And obviously it's co-op. It's also player versus player. If you want to go player versus player, you get a second crew and you can go in. And original core space was super famous for this ability to start player versus player, and as it gets really intense, you kind of team up to fight the board back, make a little deal, a handshake maybe you allow the crew to get off on your ship because they're blocked over there for the right amount of money.
That's that narrative RP style of it.
And the game will introduce that to you naturally.
Awesome.
Things will happen and it'll start to tell its own narrative around the actual objective and the narrative created by the campaign, as it were. And so, and you can work together for a bit. Maybe you stab someone in the back if you're, at the end of it. So we've got this unique co-op kind of player versus player kind of thing, and this weird sort of semi-co-op organic thing. So obviously we're going to keep that kind of interactivity as well.
Excellent.
And you'll just go through your rounds and you'll pull events and you'll have your objective. When you're done, you come out and you're going to upgrade your crew. There's a trade phase. You can go shopping.
Really?
You can buy equipment. You'll sell all the cool things you've got. You'll keep some of it. You'll sell up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of make some choices between game, what you're going to do. Your ship's going to constantly fall apart. You're going to have to spend some money keeping that.
I like that, again, because it takes it away, again, just from like the wargaming aspect of it, but then back to the narrative side of it, where like, okay, well, this has now happened. We now need to like get the ship back together. And it turns it more into a TTRPG in a box, which I think is like, it's not just a war game. It then becomes a storytelling campaign.
100%. And this is really close to my heart. So I want all the depth of a full-on RPG, right? Absolutely. But without the book and and we play RPGs. I love RPGs, but this is different, right? I want that depth, but I don't want the kind of the big kind of management of that. I want to do that with the RPG. So the choices that you make in the game and between missions, leveling up, are very RPG. Okay, it's going to affect where you put your point, what skills you're going to get, but it's all visually on your dashboard, so that when you go in and play the game, there's none of that kind of management going on. You look down, the choices you've made between those kind of really in-depth choices you make in between are going to just be instantly available to you in the game. So you feel like that your character is, experienced on all that depth without any kind of management other than you being able to look down and go, time to do that thing that I set up.
Sure. So, and yeah, I think being able to take away that, like remembering like 40,000 rules, or like why your character's built in certain ways, to be able to look down and be able to go, right, I can do a thing here, or like actually this is what we're working towards. That's, you know, character management 101 realistically.
Yeah. And that's what Core Space is all about and always has been. Yeah. And with this, we've really improved on the management of what, you know, you're in the book even less now, you know, so amazing. We introduce skills to you after a few games as you've gone through. Yeah. So by the time you get the new skill, you're already got the base mechanics down, and you only have to remember this one new thing. And as you go through, it's like, oh, I've got a new skill. I know this one. I've used it loads of time. This is my new one. So it's kind of easier to kind of like manage the rule set as well. Nice. Well, should we jump into a quick how it works and action economy and stuff like that? Absolutely, if you like to. So what I would do, I'll give you an idea of a turn, right? Okay. So first thing you'll do, everybody, I've already rolled them. You're going to roll your action dice. Okay. So I'll do this one again. Off camera, great. So I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to place these over here. And straight away I can see with these dice here that I've got a critical action. Yep. So this is just a normal action, but it's going to allow me to kind of take an extra step or re-roll a dice if I'm making a kind of an attack action. I'm on point. I've also got a standard action. Okay. I can walk, I can fire, and I've rolled a half action. And a half action is not enough for me to really do a shooting action, but it allowed me to take 2 steps. Oh, okay. So for example, if I want to get into this room here, I could take this character, let's say he's over here. I would be able to spend my first action, a normal one. Yeah. Let's put an enemy in this room. I'll be able to spend my first action to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the door. I've got an effort dice. Yeah. I can spend 1 effort. I know it's 1 effort because it's printed on the top of the door. Oh, look at that. That's right there. And I can open this door without using actions. So, because it's effortless, right? Yeah, I'm pressing a button. If it was locked, that's
I like that. Yeah. How many games like an action? There goes 6 seconds.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now I've got a choice. Do I go and confront this guy? Yeah. Or let him take the data? Well, there's a cargo crate here, but I'm also standing next to a cargo crate. So what I could do, I haven't got a full action which allows me to rummage through this crate. But while I'm standing next to it, I'm going to spend a half action, and it allows me to take a quick little peek.
To know what's inside.
Know what's inside and grab a thing.
So let's grab one thing from there rather than the entire
lot. The full thing. And the one that fell in my hand is totally the one I'm taking, because this is an awesome item. But anyway, haven't seen this item in many playtests. So, really? And now I'm actually doing a demo. I get the thing I want in my actual playtest, typical. So I'm going to place that straight in my hand.
I love that. I love that slots into the ball.
It's a drinking flask, and I can hit people with it. Oh, yeah, and it's got some rolls, but I can also twist the base, chuck it as a grenade, then it's gone, and it'll do a lot more damage.
I love that.
Okay, so I've used my half action. Yeah. I've got 1 action left. Now the choice is looking at my weapon. If I wanted to, I could spend this action to roll against this guy. Yeah. But my weapon's rubbish. It's like a vending machine weapon, and I didn't find a weapon that I wanted in this crate. Sure. So I think what I'd probably do, if I was playing, is I would spend another effort. Okay. And I would probably close this door.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Because I don't want the confrontation. Yeah. Okay. It would be much more dramatic if I was like, oh, let's roll the dice and see if we can take him out. But I
know
can
exactly
tell you
what all of our crew would do. Yep. They're taking shots.
But this guy's got an armor of 1, and I know for a fact that this dice only gives me 1, and I only go 1. But I tell you what, let's roll it back. Let's do something different.
So is that because the dice and the weapon are color coded, and that chooses the dice that you're then rolling?
Absolutely, and the different weapons. So this one's got a green dice on it. Yep. This one's got a blue dice, but she's not the one at the door. Yep. This means I can roll the blue dice, which has got a face with double hit on it, which means I could take it out if I'm lucky. But I do have an option, which I'm going to take this option. So I've rolled it back. I've given myself the effort. I know I've got a re-roll on this. Yep. There's something called burst fire. So anyone who's played Core Space before knows that we track ammo. I love tracking ammo. What we've done with this is that we used to spend ammo pegs every time we shot. Now, you don't spend ammo pegs, you've got quite a lot of ammo, but you can hold the trigger down and spray. In order to do that, it starts to deplete your weapon. So you have an ammo dice, which I will rotate one way, and when I do a burst fire, it allows me to add this dice. Now, this is going to spray more bullets. There's a chance my gun might jam, but there's a bigger chance that I'm going to get a second hit, which is what I need. So I'm going to use this as burst fire. and I can do this 3 times before I'm out of ammo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll these dice. Let's get them here.
Yeah,
I need 2 hits, right? There we go. No problem. So, but if I'd landed on the alarm, I'd get extra spawns because I'm now making a lot of noise.
That's good, though. So then, like, you're like incurring like penalties for if you then get the miss, and that's when like danger levels are going to go up. You're going to start finding yourself that narrative changing based on the dice rolls.
It's
a risk versus reward sort of thing.
Yeah, and because I was using this face on the dice that I rolled, even if I missed, I'll get a re-roll of one of those dice.
Oh, good.
So my chances are pretty high, but I've spent that dice, I've got no dice left.
Okay.
What would happen then? You'd go through and activate your other characters, they'd do their things, but let's say these characters have wandered around and done a few things. What could happen then is you can save dice.
Okay.
So that as you can only save 1 dice, and the event card may downgrade the dice.
Okay.
Occasionally it might upgrade the dice, so you've got a bit of push your luck.
Okay.
And it means that if you're ever in a situation where you're kind of here and you want to hang around, you save a dice. If anything suddenly spawned and turns up for you, you've at least got a chance to try and take it out, like an Overwatch, as it were.
I like that.
But if the card downgrades your dice, now this character can't attack. If this guy turns up, he can't attack him.
Yes.
But he could spend an effort, open the door. He can take 2 steps with this dice.
Yep.
And
spend another effort.
Another one, and he can, well, take 1 step, so I'm next to the door, close the door.
Yeah,
now, if there was a data token in there, he'll then target, he's out of line of sight, he'll target the data token. I'm alive.
Yeah.
That guy's going to get off and possibly upgrade. So you've got this kind of constant balance of, do you want to push
I like
your luck?
that. It's not just a shoot 'em skirmish. It's not like, oh, we've got to eradicate everything, collect all the objectives. They're playing the objectives as well. So even if you're playing like solo, or if you're playing in like a pair up to 4, then you can have like, okay, you know what? They're going to do their thing, and they're going to go around with their AI, like you say.
Absolutely.
And that's going to change how you play, how you narrative, how you upgrade your character. That's genius.
Yeah, it's going to work really, really well. And so when you're playing, and you're very aware of this, because the system, as complex as the system is in what it's doing, the way you learn it and play it is so intuitive that you know when you're making a decision, why you're making the decision. There's no kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do, what's the right thing to do, you know. So if you're playing by yourself, managing 3 people, it's really simple. If you've got 3 of you, or 4 of you, or whatever, and you take a character each, that's a really good dynamic, because you feel like a real crew, because it's like, right, you go in there, grab the stuff from that crate, and I'll go up here, and probably the conversation is, well, why don't you go in that room? There's an enemy spawn point over there. And so you have this real life kind of, you know, and you'll have to
like that.
figure that out yourself.
That's awesome.
Depending on your group. So
absolutely, no, that's absolutely incredible. So how does the scenario end? Is that depending basically on then like each scenario in the booklet, or is that a?
So if you can play one-off games, you can create your own games. We've always had a sandbox, so we create. We have an online thing where you can actually print and play your own character boards, design your own characters. We've had people take the Red Dwarf crew, for example, into their games, that kind of thing. But what will happen is you'll have your campaign or your one-off missions. It'll have an objective. It'll probably have a second objective. But there's always an overriding objective to 1, stay alive, and 2, to loot. Because often people will be like, oh, I didn't get the objective, I feel like I failed. You never, unless your crew dies, you never fail. I might fail the main objective, grab the second one, or fail the main objective and the second. You don't just go on, and if you get the main objective, you still have to get back to your ship.
Okay.
So you've constantly got this. So even if I don't get any of the objectives and I get off my ship, I've gathered more loot. I'm going to upgrade my character. I've got more experience. I've got, you know. So yes, I'm going to miss the reward for that objective. Or maybe this thing over here. Plus, as you go through, there's civilians. These blue characters are the civilians.
Really? I didn't know if that was another crew or anything. That's really cool.
No. So what happens is that you've always got these like completely impartial. As you go through the event cards, there's actions at the bottom for civilians. We used to have a dice that managed it. And now what happens is they might trade with you. They might want safe passage. They might have a side quest for you, which allows you to go up and pull a card, which might not even be relevant to this mission. It might be, well, I want to get to this planet over here. So later on, as you go through the campaign, you're like, well, instead of going here, let's go over and do this thing on this planet, because now I can collect the reward from this civilian, because I've got them back home or whatever.
That's cool.
And the idea is that if that civilian's on your ship between games, and you've got when they come to your ship, you'll roll the dice, and it'll say who they are and what they are, and it means that they might be like an off-duty doctor, and which means that between games you'll be able to remove status effects and things like that. Okay. So there's a really cool. The characters will kind of gain status effects. Here's one, for example.
I love that too. Like if condition rings. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
If they become poisoned, and you place it over here, when you roll your dice and you place them in, every time you place a dice in a status effect, the status of this one, for example, will downgrade your dice every time you put it in there. Shit. So you want to be able to, but if you've got a doctor on board, or you can use the medical unit back, you step into that, pay for it, it'll remove the status effect, cool. Or heal you, etc. So there's this really deep RPG whole thing, but none of it requires any heavy management.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking us through Core Space Evolution. We're definitely going to be playing this on the channel, and I'm very excited to, again, always stop by the stand at UK Games Expo. Colin, thank you so very much. Awesome. We'll see you all throughout the day. I hope the rest of your expo is exciting.
They're always great.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? But now, that's it from us. Come check out Battle Systems at Hall 4, which is stand 622. At UK Games Expo at the NEC. And until then, may the dice gods be ever in your favour. Take it easy, guys.